You guys know I'm going to have a lot to say about our little secret parts on our bodies as women that if you know about, you will instantly go from like a mediocre fucker to like an absolute sex god. I did the male version of this, erogenous zones, for him, how to turn him on. And they're just different ways that will elevate your sex game. As a woman, I can speak a lot more on these parts. I can even throw in some of my parts that I think need more attention. The difference between my sexual experiences that I could say were absolutely heaven sent versus the ones that I was like, all right, like could have gone without that, was just the fact that they either knew the woman's body or didn't. And you can tell who does and who doesn't. And you can tell who's willing to explore and who's kind of just like, all right, got to get this done, jackrabbit motherfucking style. And I'm out because they're a little nervy or not super experienced or not comfortable with themselves or exploring the woman's body. And that goes a long way. That can really fucking change up your sex game, your sex life, and how confident you are in bed, because the more you know, the more confident you are. And ladies, if you're watching this, it's important for you to know as well, because you can stimulate these parts of your body as well while you're having sex. Let's start off with a pretty commonly known erogenous zone for the women, which is a zone that is sexually stimulating the breasts. Now, the breasts, there are two parts you want to focus on. Just the entire breast, as I'm cupping my boob, and the nipples. The nipples are hit or miss for a lot of women, my guys. So before you start sucking on them titties, I want you to think twice, because not every girl enjoys it. I personally can't handle my nipples sucked on. They're extremely sensitive. Like, I die just thinking about my nipples. They're just so sensitive. However, with the right amount of pressure, if a man cups my breast and gives them like a nice holder squeeze while he's fucking me or while we're making out, it does sexually stimulate me. And for a lot of women, it does the same. So be careful with the nipples, because the nipples are just like balls, for example, on men, I'm going to say. They're sensitive, and there's different degrees to sensitivity. Some people enjoy being super, like feeling that sensitivity, and some people find it actually quite painful. So tread lightly on those areas. The breast in general is a really great place to hold. It feels comforting almost for women. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. It's almost like an affectionate, loving thing, but still sexy at the same time. Playing with her breasts too. Incorporate that while having sex. Pay attention to them. Say hi to them no matter how big or small. I'm on the smaller side. I feel like I've always covered my boobs, or like I've never made them a priority. But as I've gotten older and become more comfortable with my body and how it is naturally, it's become kind of like something I do more often than I've ever done in my life. And I just noticed that I want to grab them and hold on to my boobs while I'm being fucked. So don't neglect the breasts. Kissing them, sucking on nipples too if she's into it, right? You have to know, you know, a little bit about your partner to know this, or go there and see how she reacts. If she's jumpy and not comfortable, like reel it back in, right? I've got plenty more for you to explore. Don't worry. The mouth and the lips are an obvious one. Why do we kiss? The same exact explanation that I gave in the other part 1 video of this series. The lips are full of nerve endings, sucking on the lips, nibbling on the lips, and the mouth, the tongue. The tongue is something I said was my secret weapon. I love sucking on my man's tongue. It is totally different. It kind of visually in his mind kind of stimulates the idea of a blowjob, and it gives him a different sensation on the tongue. Again, nerve endings central, super sensitive. So anything that is incorporating the lips and the mouth, even playing with them with your fingers, you know, putting your finger in her mouth, like touching her tongue a little bit, nothing aggressive. Make sure you don't have nails. Make sure you're fucking clean. Make sure your fingers don't taste like fucking salty weirdness, questionable. I'm like, ooh, get that shit out of way from my mouth. Even playing it like with the lips with your thumb, super sexy, like mid kiss, mid make out, mid fuck. So hot for you and for her. The ears. Oh my God. I gave you guys like the golden rule. I taught you step by step how to literally give your man a boner just by playing with the ear. The entire ear, not the inside of the ear, the external part of the fucking ear, you weirdos. All right, we're not licking inside the ear and giving each other wet willies. It's not cute. And I've had guys like lick my ear, and I'm like, nope. If I had a boner, it would be inverted right now. Like, it's not a thing, buddy. Stop getting it slobbery. We're extremely sensitive. We hear everything. It's our ears, the eardrum, everything. We don't want a lot of slobbery sensations here. We want warmth. We want a little bit of breath, and we want potentially even some teeth to create tingles throughout the body. What we're going to do is we're going to come up close. You can even be kissing her cheek, lead up to here, kiss her lobe. Don't kiss anywhere in the hole. the lower part, even the top part, nibbling and slightly pulling on the ear will create the same tingles as it does for a man. It's a very similar erogenous zone. A lot of these will kind of overlap. So the things that you listen to in the male erogenous zone video, a lot of them correspond to the female and are quite similar. So I'm just kind of going over that part. You want to nibble on the ear. You can even nibble at the top, even take your hands. And when you pull her hair, which we'll get into the hair and scalp part, but when you kind of put her hair behind her ear or pet this area, it is so seductive and seducing and sexy and just sexually stimulating, but in like a really sweet way that like after a while you're just like, oh, fuck me. Like, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, I'm just so calm and I'm ready to do the nastiest things with you, quite honestly. The only part I'd recommend where your tongue or licking should ever be involved around the ear, I would avoid it at all costs, but down right here, the back. So sort of like closer to the nape of the neck, but you want to do it kind of down here going onto her neck. You can do a little lick. Make sure it's not super slobbery. If you're a slobbery licker, just don't fucking lick, okay? Don't lick. It's gross. Neck area, very similar. Hands. When you're kissing her, there's nothing hotter than like a man's, you know, warm hands grabbing you from the neck, you know, caressing your neck. Just like having your hands there, super sensitive as well, and will send those like sexy shivers throughout the body that'll make her a little damp down there, okay? The butt. I'm a big butt girl. We all know this. Like the fact that the internet knows me in that way is alarming, but it is what it is. I'm doing it for the greater good. Okay, that's what I tell myself. All right. The butt cheeks and the anus, yes, both. Okay. Why do guys go like this? Like, oh, slapping ass. Like, why is that a thing? Because to a certain degree, it does sexually stimulate a woman. So caressing her butt, giving her a butt massage. Oh my God. Like that just will make her wet in like 2 seconds. Like a nice butt massage, focusing on the cheeks. And, you know, slaps from time to time if she's into that, which again, fine line. Some people are not. So do not slap, because that might be a form of disrespect to somebody in the bedroom. Unless you guys are comfortable and you know this about each other, avoid it. But giving the butt some love, oiling it up, lubricating it, doing a butt massage is so fucking hot. Even when you're having sex, grabbing her cheeks, there is nothing sexier in my opinion. It turns me right the fuck on. I have no words. I have no words. The butthole, the anus. Everybody's scared of the anus. A lot of people are very scared of the anus. If you are open to it, ladies, give it a chance. It is so wonderful when you are being penetrated and you have a finger in your butt. I said what I said. It feels really great. And you're getting a different type of pressure, different type of sensation. I find it so hot and I can come just from that, honestly. It really does excite me and I enjoy it. Not a lot of girls do. And if the anus is off limits, make it be known and make sure you know this about your partner before you shove fingers in holes where they don't believe that it belongs, okay? The inner thighs. Why are guys neglecting the inner thighs? A little love bite from time to time is so fucking hot for those that like a little bit of pain. Not everyone does. Again, grain of salt. Licking and kissing up and down the thigh, teasing her like that. Why is no one doing that anymore? Like, I feel like that's such an old thing now. Like, it's like, oh, a dated thing. Why is that dated? That shit works like a goddamn charm. Pay attention to the inner thighs. Again, super sensitive. There is a rule here, and if you've gotten tattoos, you know. Anything that's inner body, so like underneath your arm here is super sensitive, like where your armpit is, around the ribs, super sensitive. All of these areas that are super sensitive are technically an erogenous zone for the most part. They will sexually stimulate you in some way, shape, or form. The inside of the body, so like the inner thighs, right, facing inwards, very sensitive place. Think about it this way, like they're not oftentimes stimulated. So when they are stimulated, it's like next level. You're like, holy shit, I haven't been touched that way in so long. Making you literally stand out from the rest of the goddamn crowd in a second. So focus on the inner thighs, kiss, warmth of the hand, fingers, even like little tingles. If she's not super ticklish, give it a try. I love, and this is something that some people don't like, and I find a lot of people don't get, but I love playing with hot and cold. So like an ice cube, introduce an ice cube to the bedroom, suck on it, and then like ride that up her thigh while you're kissing her or stimulating her in any other way. Like the point here is to play around with different sensations and different ways to stimulate her, either at the same time or separate times to see and to learn what works and what doesn't for her. Again, you want to work modestly and not do all of this at once. Don't go through this checklist because it's going to be overwhelming and excessive and she's going to get confused. Focus on little areas at a time per each sexual experience and then zoom in on the things that worked best for her and play longer there. Believe it or not, and a lot of girls don't like this area stimulated because I think a lot of people are self-conscious about the stomach area, but the lower abdomen, kind of like top of the pubic bone area, is a very sensitive area. Use your fingers, all right? Pet there, like rub there. I personally like being grabbed on my hips. There is a pressure point I find. It's in that pelvic area, which it is, on either side, right? Where your hands would be holding her hips. Pressing down a little bit on that creates such a sexy sensation for me, at least. I'm not sure if a lot of women can agree with me on that, but the hips, holding her hips, something about it, like keeping your attention in your hands there is so sexy. And you can do this while she's on top of you, while you're on top of her. Like, get your hands in there, buddy. Like, do something with them. The inside of the wrist, as well as this whole part of the forearm, on the inside of the forearm, thin skin equals sensitive. Your fingertips work. And just kind of like fizzle it down and up on the forearm, on the inner forearm, will give you that shivery feeling, you know. And this is the best for foreplay, to get her like really like hungry for more. Just doing those soft touches where she like wants more, and then stopping and then going back to it all over her body essentially is going to work, but specifically in these sensitive areas. And you guys know what we're talking about. Like, you know, when you were younger and you would draw things on each other's backs, right? The same sensation that you'd get, like the shivery, like hair raising on the back of your neck kind of feeling. Imagine that in a sexual environment. Holy fuck. Like, you will lose your goddamn mind. The lower and upper back, or back in general, that's exactly what we're going to do. Massages work all the time as foreplay. They're fabulous. Even like holding her back and like moving your hands up and down, even scratching for those that like a little bit more pressure. The scalp. I need to talk to you guys about the scalp. You guys need to do this right, okay? Scalp massages, petting her hair, the sides right here, super sensitive, like close to the ear, close to the neck area. You can bet your life on the fact that this area will always be amazing, will always feel good, will always be sexy, will always give her some sort of tingles or whatever. Another key to scalp and hair pulling is light, closer to the root pulls, and then letting go. That actually creates a bit of tingles for a lot of women. And so when you're like, you know, let's say doggy, and you're grabbing a chunk of her hair and you're pulling it back, right? Don't just pull. Let go a little bit. Keep her there so she's like not being thrown all over the place, right? Little tugs are the secret to success here. It's not just about pulling her hair back, okay, and like creating this dominance thing. It's about those small pulls that are closer to the scalp, and then letting go. That creates a lot of tingles, believe it or not. And like me just doing it to myself, I can like feel it. So if somebody else does it to me, I know it's going to be 10 times more intense. I just messed up my hair for you guys. Like, really, I'm really committed to these how-to videos, these tutorials. The area behind the knee is an area that I told you I've never really experienced on my man. Like, I've never really done that to a guy. That's an erogenous zone for a man just as much as it is for a woman. I've had it been done to me, just like putting his fingers in the back of my knees with a position that we were doing, and like just keeping them there created sort of this like weird, tingly, exciting sensation. Licking behind the knees while you're playing with the thighs. This is a really great combo because you're already there and it's super sexy. It is very sensitive, and for a lot of people will be very ticklish, so just be careful. Some people don't like being tickled, so don't do it. The perineum. Like, now we're getting disgusting because I'm not going to talk about the vagina. You guys know the vagina. There's so many erogenous zones of the vagina. Vagina is not just one thing, okay? We've got so many parts of the vagina, and that is your homework to actually understand different parts of the vagina and what they're there for. You're going to be surprised to know that the deeper you go, the less we really feel in terms of sensation. Did you know that? You did not know that. But the perineum is the space between, like I said in the male erogenous zones video, the vagina and the asshole, the ball sack and the asshole. There is this piece of skin there that is super sensitive and thin, full of nerve endings that nobody pays attention to. Lick around there, touch around there, feel around there, you know? Be careful though, if you are fingering an asshole and then fingering a vagina, you don't want to do that. You can create infections. It's not the cleanest thing to do. So once you go to the asshole, you cannot go back to the vagina. Go wash your hands, go sanitize, and then get back to town if you want to. Be mindful with how you play that, though, in those areas, because it's just a hygienic thing at that point, all right? And I know some of you guys didn't know that. So now you know. And last but not least, I'm going to throw in the inside of the ankle. I love this part of my body. It's very weird. It is super sensitive, just like the inside of my forearm, holding on to the ankles, or like even just like grabbing your fingers and like playing there. You can give your partner a foot massage and focus on the ankles too. People don't really focus on them, the inside of the ankles. So kind of facing towards the inside of your body. Toes, feet in general are an erogenous zone as well. A lot of people go crazy for that. I'm not a feet person at all. Do not touch my feet. I'm super ticklish. So it's not really something I'm into. However, the inside of my ankle is as close to foot play that I will enjoy and get to. And I love it. Like just a man being down there. Do you know what I mean? Like kissing your ankles or like something. There's just something so sexy about that. And I find it really hot, the thought of it, but also the feeling. It's really thin skin, susceptible to those tingles. And we love that feeling. I just ran through, I know, a lot of erogenous zones that you guys can utilize while you're having sex, during foreplay, when you're pausing in between changing positions, during oral sex, whatever it might be. You can incorporate 1 to 2 of these next time you have sex, and that is your homework. Just try it out. Just pick apart and see what works and what doesn't, what you like and what you don't. Listen to your partner's body. Watch how they react to things, right? And as the person that's receiving these things, make sure you're making it known if you like something. Moan, say yes, whatever. Just make it be known what you like, because at the end of the day, guys, we can know all of this information, but if our partner doesn't show us or doesn't tell us what they like and what they don't like, we'll continue to be lost. So it's not always about how much you know. It's about having a good partner that you have sex with as well. So I'm not relieving anyone of the stress or pressure here of being a good partner. It takes 2 to fucking tango, but it's important that everyone does their homework and comes prepared and knows a little bit more about each other's body before they engage in sex. I hope you guys are excited to try some of these erogenous zones on your partner. Comment down below if there's any that I missed that you love. Weird or not, guys, we're not judgmental here about that shit. Like, would love to know more. Would love to experience more on my own body. And this is great too, ladies. If you're watching this, experiment with it on your own. Like, feel your body. Like, make love to your goddamn self. See what works for you. See what doesn't. This is so important. This is part of the self-care and self-discovery journey that we all are on. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss all the amazing videos coming your way. Sex, dating, love, and life-related videos. Rate this podcast 5 large and in charge stars for not gatekeeping. And I'll continue to do what I do best and share all of my secrets. Thank you for being here and watching. I love you guys. Take care.